We have got some world changers in the studio. Literally, they are changing the world. We've got Jack Blankenship, who is here locally. He's the project coordinator, boots on the ground here. And Libby Holbrook is with World Changers, and you travel around with the organization all summer long.
Yes, I do.
Well, good morning to you both.
Morning.
Good morning.
So, Libby, let's start with you. Explain to our audience what World Changers, what it's all about.
All right. Well, it's a nonprofit, and youth from all over the country come into a different project city every week, or a set comes into a project city. And we pretty much train them on how to share the gospel. On Monday, typically on a regular 5-day, we send them out to different work sites, and they're split into crews, so they're not all from the same church. They're from all different churches. And they work on painting. They can do porches. They do disabled wheelchair ramps. And they do all this physical labor, but really the focus is to share the gospel with the homeowner or the neighbors or just the whole community, and really be the hands and feet of Jesus through the whole entire community.
So you start recruiting for young folks, such as the case this week here in Rock Hill, several months ago. Do you work with folks like Jack and those individuals from the faith-based community and say, hey, we're planning to come X week in the summer? Let's go ahead and start recruiting young people, and that's how it goes?
Yeah,
Okay.
so the word gets around really from previous summer projects, and we show them our dates and rates for the next summer. And the word also gets around because so many churches pour into the project, where churches will be hosting a work site where they bring lunch to these kids. And they might say, hey, can we get our youth group involved? And so the word really spreads because people just love to serve each other.
Word of mouth. Best
That's right.
form of advertising sometimes, for sure. So, Jack, you're boots on the ground here. So when you're not involved with World Changers, you're over there at the BCM, right? For Winthrop University.
Yes.
So walk us through what this week has looked like here in York County.
Yeah, it's pretty great. My wife and I met doing World Changers a long time ago, 24 years ago. And I started World Changers as a high school student in 1993. So I've got a long tradition. And World Changers has been in Rock Hill for a long time. In fact, there was a 20-year span where over 5,000 participants had come. And then there was a 5-year span where it wasn't, and this is the second year being back. And it's pretty great because we partner with the city. And so the city helps identify the houses, provides the funding for the materials, and then our students come in and our volunteers come in and provide the labor. And so those costs are not there. And so it's a great way for us to tangibly show people that we care about them, that we love them, and just Jesus has changed us, so we want to be that for other people. And it's made an impact. One study had shown in that 20 years that Rock Hill was here, I believe the number was like $2.3 million in labor cost had been donated. And but it's like Libby said, our faith kept within ourselves is not, Jesus told us to love people and serve people, and that's what we want to be. We want to be that. And so we've been working with the city. Our construction coordinator has been working with, and the city's fantastic. Rock Hill Schools, we're staying over at the old Finley Road Elementary School, and they have been top-notch helping us out there. We got a team that came in from Texas that's volunteering and cooking all of our food, and it's been a great week.
Well, we know church is not necessarily in a building, right? Mm-hmm. Church is outside the walls of a building, and we hear that a lot in our faith-based communities. It's nice to gather once or twice a week or sometimes more, but church is serving those out in the community.
I was able to participate. Jack and I were just talking. So I was a world changer all through my high school years. And so people often say, have you ever been on a mission trip? And to me, when I think, so even as an adult, like, well, I've never been out of the country on a mission trip. But then I kind of step back and think, I have been on a mission trip. And so I did participate with World Changers from 1994 to 1999. And I remember the two vivid projects. We went to Mobile, Alabama, and we went to Houston, Texas. And I still remember Miss Martha and Miss Rosa. And Miss Rosa was our homeowner in Mobile, Alabama. And the way that you just see, and as a teenager, you sometimes think, I remember, when our youth pastor was saying, okay, this is what we're going to do. I didn't know how to roof. I mean, I was up on a roof. Like, you know, I didn't know how to roof. And here you are as a teenager, and, you know, you think you've got all these problems. And really, that was the first time I was taken out of the blessings that I had to see how other people sometimes lived. And so it totally did change me as a 16-year-old girl. But to see the way that when we met that homeowner, Miss Rosa especially, on that Sunday afternoon, and then how she had changed by Friday when we left. I mean, it was like a transformation. You saw, you know, and I remember her saying, you know, she didn't have family and people didn't really come anymore. And so people were rallying around her, and how she got out there and brought us lemonade. Mm-hmm. The poor lady didn't hardly have anything, but she was providing us peanut butter sandwiches that she would cut in squares, and lemonade, and coming out, and the neighborhood kids. It truly was life-changing. And while y'all are changing the world for these people in these communities, you're also changing those teenagers.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
Jack, to Ashley's point a little bit, if she didn't know much about roofing, so with some of these projects, if they're doing some roofing or some, you know, bigger projects, there are folks that go behind them and make sure everything's legit. And they're just helping to supply the labor and to understand.
Right. And so each when we call them crews, when we divide our students up, and they're with one or two people from their church and then people they don't know, each crew has what we call a crew chief, who is someone who's experienced in construction. And some of them are, they do it for a living. Some of them, if they just know how to do it. And then we have a construction coordinator and some supervisors. And so they work really tightly. And our construction coordinator, he is in construction, so he knows, he's able to help out. And some of them are as simple as painting, and some of them we have ripped total porches off and had to redo foundation stuff, and it's been pretty intense. And it's great because, you know, it's like Ashley said, students say they don't know how to do these things, but they get the opportunity to do it. And I will say this, some people think that this is a boy thing.
No.
But the girls outwork the boys at almost every project, and they get up, they swing hammers and pick up heavy stuff, and it's pretty great to see that. So.
Yeah.
Libby Holbrook is with World Changers. Jack Blankenship is with World Changers as well. He's a project coordinator, but Jack is right here, boots on the ground, and Libby is with the organization and travels throughout the country during the summer months. How many homes were you able to accomplish or get taken care of this week?
So this week we did 10 in the city of Rock Hill, and we helped over at the Catawba Nation. I know we've done at least 12 like painting and staining decks over there, and we won't know the total number because they're rocking and trying to get more finished today. So hopefully around 20 or so.
That's
time
amazing.
we get it done over there.
And it took place just this week?
Just this week.
Okay.
They came in on Monday, so they've only been working since Tuesday, and they will finish today. And it doesn't look like any project is going to be unfinished. Looks like we're going to be able to button up everything this afternoon, and then they leave out of here early in the morning to go back home.
So if folks are listening now, parents maybe mainly, and thinking, I would love for my high school student to do this next year, how do they make sure they get on the calendar, or who do they need to reach out to next year to make sure they don't miss this opportunity?
Well, we have our dates for the next summer at world-changers.net. And the rates are on there, explanation of what we're about and what you're going to be doing and all that. And also, we don't just have 5 days. We have 5, 6 days, 7 days. So lots of different options.
Perfect. Well, we appreciate what you're doing. These homeowners definitely appreciate what you're doing. And anything to start the conversation about the man upstairs, it's a step in the right direction for sure. Libby Holbrook, again, is with World Changers. Jack Blankenship is also with World Changers. But he is one of our own right here in our community, and we appreciate it.
Glad
Thank you both. Thank you.
Thank you.